Hi, my name is Jilly Wood, and I'm going to be talking about Destination Unknown by Agatha Christie. The quote I chose is, "Why do you decry the world we live in? There are good people in it. Isn't muddle a better breeding ground for kindliness and individuality than a world order that's imposed? A world order that may be right today and wrong tomorrow? I would rather have a world of kind, faulty human beings than a world of superior robots who've said goodbye to pity and understanding and sympathy." The characters in this story are Hilary Craven. She's the main character who finds purpose in a dangerous mission. After her daughter passes away and the love of her life leaves her, she wants to commit suicide and ultimately does not do that. Mr. Jessup is the detective in the missing scientist case, and he is the one who recruits Hilary to work on the mission. Olive Betterton is the wife of Thomas, and she dies in a plane crash early on in the novel. Thomas Betterton is the missing scientist who Mr. Jessup and Hilary are trying to find. And Dr. Barron is the leader of the hidden scientific colony. The setting of this novel is post-World War II Europe, Casablanca, Morocco, and eventually Africa. In the beginning of the novel, we are introduced to Molly Betterton, who's very concerned about her husband, Tom, who had disappeared recently. Molly goes to Mr. Jessup and gives him all the details that she has about his disappearance, and also informs him that she will be going on a vacation. We are then introduced to Hilary Craven, who lost her desire to live after her child died and her lover left her. She is in a city and goes around picking up sleeping pills, where she's going to go back to her hotel room and take them all to ultimately commit suicide. But before she does that, she hears a knock at her hotel room door and at first tries to ignore it, but the lock eventually turns and Mr. Jessup walks in, and he tells her that he has a more exciting way to die rather than suicide, and she can be a part of this mission to find the missing scientist, Tom Betterton. Hilary eventually agrees to this, and Mr. Jessup lets her know that she will have to pretend to be Olive Betterton, who is in critical condition after a plane crash, and they go together to visit Olive and maybe try and get any last information out of her before she passes away. They don't really get any information, and she passes away, leaving Hilary to try and figure everything out about Olive that she can so she can pretend to be her. And after Hilary does that, they leave the hospital and Hilary goes to the St. Louis Hotel. This is where she meets 3 young women and talks to many people about her supposed injury and crash. A lot of people had heard about the plane crash, and she said that she had a concussion, so it could also explain why she maybe didn't know every single thing about Olive's life. She becomes very acquainted with the women there, and they have lunch, dinner, breakfast, all the meals together, and spend a lot of their time together. Hilary eventually leaves the St. Louis Hotel and goes to Casablanca, Morocco. This is where she meets Mr. Aristides, a very, very rich man. She notices him and asks who he is, and eventually he comes up to her and they have a conversation. After leaving Casablanca on a flight, Hilary begins her journey towards the unknown destination. Hilary and 6 other passengers take a long journey on planes and bus rides towards the unknown place. At first, she didn't realize that the people on the plane were also people heading to that destination. and once she does, she's pretty scared because this is where everything's kind of going to go down. They arrive at a facility in the middle of Africa, which is surrounded by nothing. It's in the middle of nowhere. And Hillary enters the gates and is eventually shown to Tom Betterton, which is supposed to be her quote-unquote husband, but she is not actually his husband, or his wife, obviously, because she's pretending to be Olive. So she's like really scared whenever she goes to meet him, because she's scared he's gonna be like, that's not my wife, and that she's gonna get in trouble and like be killed or something. So Hillary like walks in the room and she's like, that's not my husband, and he's like, what are you talking about? Like, Hillary, it's me, I've had plastic surgery. And she's like, oh, okay. And they eventually talk, and he's like, I know that you weren't my wife, but I thought they sent you to get me out of here because this place is horrible and all this stuff. And they decide that they need to escape. This book reminded me of two other pieces of work. It reminded me of The Truman Show because the characters in the book are also under constant surveillance, like Truman is. Hillary and Tom Betterton have to be very careful about like what they talk about and in what way they talk about it, because there's lots of like cameras and hidden microphones in their room at the scientific center. And the characters also put up facades towards each other in order to maintain their persona, like Hillary pretending to be Molly throughout the whole entire novel, and no one even knowing that she isn't who she says she is until the end. This book also reminds me of The Giver because of the dystopia world Dr. Barron hopes to create. The purpose of this secret scientific center is to have doctors create new medicine and technology so they can control the world, and they're all confined on this area, and they all just work every single day, and it's supposed to be this perfect area where you have everything you want, like shopping centers, spas, everything, but no one is actually happy there. Overall, this book was very easy to read and understand. The writing style was very good, and it switched perspectives from Hillary and Mr. Jessup throughout the novel, which I thought made it very interesting and intriguing to read. I think people who enjoy mystery novels and books that don't get solved until the very end will enjoy this book. There are lots of details in the book that didn't really seem significant until the very ending, which made the whole story come together very well. Overall, this book was very good, and I would recommend it to anyone who enjoys reading. Thank you for listening to my presentation.